It's the Orioles on Masson, and hey, pretty good matchup right there. It'll be the Twins and the Orioles, and this is Game 2 of the 4-game set over this weekend as the Orioles were shut out by Capovano and the Twins in the ball game last night. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne. A great to have you with us here at Camden Yards tonight. For the Orioles, they go up against a pitching staff in Minnesota that now has not allowed a run in the last 19 innings worked. In addition to that, they are the second best hitting club in the majors since the All-Star break. A formidable opponent. If the Orioles get some help tonight, Brian Roberts is back in the lineup, and he will be leading off. The Orioles have had problems getting ahead. Maybe put another way, the Orioles have had even more problems getting behind. Early in ball games, it is so tough to have to battle in situations where you're down not just 1 or 2 runs, but 3 or more. They have trailed 3 or more runs after the third inning 25 times. Their record in those games, 4-21. That has forced the Orioles to have to play from behind. Now, yes, they have 12 wins, trailing by 3 or more at some point in the ball game. It is the most in the majors, but you know something? That's a number, Jim, you'd probably just as soon not have.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with the starting pitching, and that's probably kind of why Guthrie is so important tonight, just to get him deep into the game where you can hopefully sequence your way through the bullpen. But you come from behind when you're behind, and they've been behind. A lot of first-inning runs. We saw it last night. This is the best team when you talk about the Twins of scoring first-inning runs in baseball. Pittsburgh, even though they don't have a good record, they're number 2. What does Jeremy Guthrie do? He's given up 16, I think, of 63 runs in the first inning. So he needs to get off to a good start, and it just makes it easier. Again, you're trying to get the guys that play behind you to think, you know what, I can go up there, I can grind out some bats. Hopefully that'll be the case tonight.
All right, the Orioles take the field as they look to get some wins under their belt. Only one so far in this long homestand. It is Guinness Orioles Tankard night tonight. When we come back, they'll try and tankard the Twins. Southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And by Acura Advance. Orioles 1-6 on this homestand so far as we get set for the sun setting on a very summer evening. Let's take a look at our train game time temperature. It is 98 degrees at game time. Visit trainsearch.com to locate an independent train dealer near you. It's hard to stop a train. Starting lineup for the Twins, who won their 51st ball game last night. Span, Hudson, and Mauer, Kubel, Kadire, and Tomey, Young, Hardy, and Punto, with Jim Tomey back in the lineup. Number 10 all-time in home runs.
And let's take a look at our PNC scouting report. Last start, best start, at least as of late. The first pitch hit for a home run. That was it against Toronto, who leads the major leagues in home runs. He's pitched very well. One earlier in May against the Twins at Target Field. 2-0 lifetime, low ERA. And first inning blues, this team, the Twins, scores the most in baseball. Jeremy gives up 16 of his 60-plus runs. So that is the scouting report brought to you by PNC, for the achiever in all of us. And hopefully he will achieve, maybe even overachieve tonight, but not try to.
He's pitched really well against the Twins.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a ball club. He's got just a 2-0 record against them in the 3 starts he's had, but solid performances in all 3 outings in his career against the Minnesota Twins. So we'll see if he can continue that. 2-0, 3-1-0, 20 innings against the Twins, only 7 earned runs off Jeremy Guthrie. And we are ready to go as Denard Span will stand in. He had a 1 for 5 in the opener last night. The speedster at 269 on the year. And he will take that one for a strike. And we are underway. Twins now have the edge in the season series at 3-2. 0-1 delivery will be foul back. Jeremy Guthrie in the outings against the Twins. The only problem has been the home runs. 6 of the 7 runs that he has given up against the Twins have come via the homer. 4 home runs off him. Jim Thome, one of those. Gadaya, one of those. Young, one of those that have hit home runs along with Kubel. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Span will foul it back, holding it at 2 strikes.
Yeah, and again, that fastball at 96, that's pretty much where he stayed, 93 to 96 against Toronto. Now, he had some extra rest because of the All-Star break, but again, only the home run to the leadoff batter Fred Lewis, and then probably his most command, most strikeouts in recent games. And that's how they try to get Span out. They try to get that curveball. And he started using it even when he pitched poorly down in Texas, used it very well and very often against the Rangers. But that ball just around the corner.
And again, this ball club that takes a lot of pitches and works you deep and draws a lot of walks. That one will be blooped to third. Now to start back on that, they decided, you know something? I think I got to go the other way. Adam Jones defensively in the ball game last night.
Well, yeah. I mean, nice play right there. Circled it. Puto doesn't know where he is. Strong throw. Made a nice play right there. Kind of gets mixed up. Ball over the wrong shoulder, but gets himself back on track. Also circled the ball. P.A. Jones-Patterson. That is your outfield. Tejada, Izturis, Roberts, and Wigington, and then Craig Tatum. Again, hot with the bat. And doing a nice job offensively and defensively. He said, you know what, I just wish that maybe my signal calling didn't give up as many runs when we catch, but I'm not sure that's all his fault.
And yes, Nick Markakis is out of the lineup tonight. He's getting a rest we'll talk about as we go along. Again, an 0-2 count. Orlando Hudson. Hudson had an 0 for 5 in the ball game. There is Nick with the day game coming up Sunday, and the fact that he's been struggling a bit at the plate. 2 for 18. An opportunity to rest. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Guthrie will come inside to Hudson. A lot of left-handers in this lineup again. Lefties hitting 293 off Guthrie, and the right-handers 231. 12 of the 16 home runs have been hit by lefties. There's Brian Roberts' first play back in the lineup. Why Markakis is not starting this ball game? Here's the skipper.
That Nicky wants to play, and if you put it on Nicky's hand, he's going to try to talk you out of it. And I just had to make the decision, and I told him, you're not playing tomorrow. And for him, my office was closed, so don't come in. You're not playing, because if you get my chance, they're going to try to talk you out of it.
So Juan Samuel was not going to be talked out of it, and Nick Markakis available. Nothing wrong with him, just taking a break. He certainly deserves it.
Yeah, you got the lefty. Now, of course, the one thing he does about lefties came in hitting 350 in the top 10 of what hitters in the American League do against left-handed pitching. He's the only left-hander in that group, lefty versus lefty, but you got to rest him
sometime.
Yeah, and you make a great point that just in one of those lulls. He has got a couple hits, but 2 for 18 is not Nick Markakis.
Here's Joe Mauer, 2 down, nobody on. Mauer's got a 7-game hit streak. He extended it last night with a 1 for 3. lifetime, 3 hits, 6 at-bats off Jeremy Guthrie. He was DHing in the ball game last night. He's in the ball game tonight, back behind the plate as the catcher. Guthrie with a 1-1 delivery to him. Maurer will take the fastball inside, and a 2-ball, 1-strike count. The Twins' most runs scored in the first, 72. That's in the majors. Pirates, Rangers, Diamondbacks, and Rockies. Certainly surprised to see the Pirates on that list. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Foul back. Obviously for Pittsburgh, it hasn't held up very good, as they have struggled all season long. They pick up wins, 34 of them on the year. 2-ball, 2-strike count. There's Ron Gardenhire, the manager. His ball club 2 games out in the division. They are tied with Detroit coming into this weekend's play. The 2-2 to Maurer. That's fouled off the other way.
Yeah, real good change up there. I think that if you look at Joe Mauer, he's won 3 batting titles. He's going to get his hits. And last year they tried to pitch him in because of those batting titles that he won. And he got a short swing. He had 26 home runs. He wasn't playing in target field. He was talking about that today. He said it's a little bit more difficult.
And Maurer will loop that the other way. That's going to be a base hit.
See, but that's how you have to pitch to guys that win batting titles. He's not going to steal bases. So you make your pitches. You obviously learn something from that at bat. You learn that this guy, when you look at this plate, that's a fastball down and away, maybe not on the corner. But this is what he does so well. That is why he, again, hit 365 last year. So I would give him a single, or at least make him hit a quality pitch. And that's how you win batting titles. You can do that. But he stays in the park, and then you get the next guy out.
Jason Kubel had an 0 for 2 in the ball game last night. As we said, Kubel has a home run off Guthrie lifetime. He is 4 for 13 with the 1 homer. 11 on the year, 51 RBIs. A very productive season so far for Jason Kubel. 2 down, runner on at first base, Maurer, the 0-1 delivery. And that is going to be a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Kubel. Kubel hitting .267 at home, .257 on the road. This ball club, which had moved from the Metrodome to their new park, still 30-20 for a home record, 21-25 this year in road games. 1-ball, 1-strike delivery to Kubel, and that's going to be down the line and right. That is a foul ball.
Yeah, there's a changeup, and pitching is all about watching, and not only before, because that's how you prepare, but while you're pitching, about where the ball is. Was he out on his front foot? So he gets Jason Kubel out on his front foot, but because the ball's in the middle of the plate, he's able to hit it soundly, and you get a little bit fortunate because he pulls it foul.
Kubel's in a bit of a slump right now. He has not had a hit in his last 12 at-bats. Maurer is not going to go anywhere at first base. Kubel swings through it, and Guthrie gets it. So Jeremy Guthrie, who has struggled in first innings this season, gets through this one without allowing anything. 1 left on. Brian Roberts back in that leadoff spot. Tejada, Wigginton, and Scott. Jones, P.A., Tatum, Patterson, and Izturis. First game since April 9 for the Orioles second baseman. And let's listen. Brian Dunsing on to face him.
Yeah, the PNC scouting report. 8-2, 216 as a starter. That was last year. So staying power. He only threw 47 pitches. They've been trying to stretch him out. So they said maybe 60, 65 pitches. Will depend. Of course, the weather is close to 100 degrees. And again, lefties. Not a lot of lefties in the lineup, but he dominates lefty. They're only hitting 119, but he knows how to pitch. Very simple windup, controls the running game, and got 3 pitches he can get over.
So he's got a shot at going back into the rotation. This is not just a spot start. It will depend on how he performs and how Blackburn performs, who's been moved to the bullpen. So Brian Roberts activated today. Scott Moore designated for assignment. And Brian gets back after all but begging his way back, and mighty happy to be here, Mr. Roberts.
I'm sure I'll be anxious, sure, and I'd like to be able to help as much as I can. I can't make any promises. I'm going 5 for 5 tonight, but I'd like to get out there and maybe get on base or something and try and score a run and help the team. But part of it will just be getting back in the flow of the game and getting your rhythm and getting your timing back, and that may take a couple of days, but I'm hoping that these guys are going to be forgiving with me.
Brian's only got 14 at bats before he went on the DL. That was why the rehab had to be so long. Swings through that one. So Brian, it's really like a spring training part of the year for him here in mid-July.
Well, that's what we saw because of the herniated disc. His whole spring training was concised to about 10 days. Hurt the back in late January, so tried to get into spring training, just couldn't perform.
2-2 delivery to him will be taken inside for a ball. He went 6 for 14, double-A buoy on rehab, and it felt as though he was ready to go and did not need to be at the minor league level anymore, and convinced the Orioles of the same, so here he is. 3-2 delivery. Dunson's pitch will be fouled back into the seats.
Yeah, and already he's doing what he does. I mean, he had 56 doubles, 51 the year before, 16 home runs last year, 30 steals, 40 the year before, and already he's made him throw 6 pitches. And this is what he's about. He will work the count. He will take strikes. I mean, he's very comfortable. Maybe not as comfortable if this was July he had played all year, getting deep into the count.
3-ball, 2-strike delivery to Roberts and a ground ball towards second base. Orlando Hudson up and gets the out, and there is one away.
Take a look at the defense. It's the best in the American League. Only 34 errors. Young, Span, and Kubel. Puto, Hardy, Hudson, and Kadire. And then, again, the MVP from last year, 3-time batting titleist Joe Mauer behind the plate tonight.
Twins have won their last 2. The Orioles have lost their last 2. Miguel Tejada with an 0 for 4 in the ball game last night, and Dunsing's pitch is in there for a strike. Tejada had the hit streak going during this homestand of 7 ball games. Here's the 0-1 delivery on the way, and he will foul that one off.
Well, we've already seen Dunsing they know he's got a cutter, a slider, and he's got a 2-seamer and a 4-seamer, and he's got a changeup. But it all started for me when he got behind Brian Roberts, leadoff batter. You don't want him on, and then threw him a 2-1 changeup. So you know he has it, but he'll throw it at any count. He'll throw it 2-1. He'll throw it all the way to 3-2.
Against lefties, only .230 this year. That one is going to be in for a base hit. Played on the hop by Young. Tejada will stop at first base. And that will bring up Ty Wigginton, who has had an interesting 24 hours. Wigginton last night just exploding on this safe call against Gary Darling, who is behind the plate tonight. He was said to have bumped the umpire belly to belly, suspended for 3 games. The fine has not been announced, never is, but it's probably about 20 grand. He has appealed the suspension. And Ty Wigginton will play pending the appeal. So there's Darling behind the plate, the umpire that threw him out after the argument at first base. And of course, that was followed by Juan Samuel and Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach, also getting back to the early buffet.
Well, they did. And, of course, Wiggy said all the right things. He said, listen, I thought he missed a call. I argued it. We'll come out here tomorrow. He'll umpire and I'll play. And that's the way you hope it is. Now, whether there's a changeup again in a fastball count. So this young, he's not that young if we look at Dunsing's 27 out of the University of Nebraska.
1 ball, 1 strikeout on Ty Wigginton.
But I would think a bigger issue, because everybody, and there are a lot of scouts looking at him, a lot of teams want him, is that you would think that if he's going to be more tradable, you would want the suspension served as soon as possible. Not if you got traded and it had to come in the last 2 months of the season.
1-1 delivery will be taken down low. Yep, that's an interesting point on that, and there are clearly teams interested in Wigginton. I think one of the reasons is there's a genuine feeling that the suspension will be reduced, maybe even to 1 game on the appeal. It seems a little in line with what others have had, a little extravagant. The bumping did occur, but it wasn't as though there was an attempt to get to the umpire physically touching. Here's the 2-1, and Dunsing will miss up high with that to Wigginton. Ty had an 0 for 1 in the ball game last night, 247 off lefties. He's only had 1 of his 16 home runs against a left-handed pitcher this year.
Well, see, the Orioles come in at 9-22 against left-handed starters, and that's one of the reasons. Markakis hits them well, but of his 6 home runs, only 2 are against left-handed pitching.
3-1 delivery, and that's a strike on the outside corner, and he started down to first, so he's not. He just shakes his head yes, and doesn't turn around.
He asked him, was this a strike? And it wasn't. Very rarely do you get that as a 3-1 pitch, because it's not automatic. This is not 3-0.
Dodd is on at first base. 3 ball, 2 strike count on Wigginton. 1 away. Dunsing's pitch in the air, right field. Kubel will put it away. Tejada, who is halfway, will go back. The Orioles against left-handers, it has been a long run of not very good numbers against left-handed starters. You go back 5 years, there's not even a good win percentage there against lefties. Last winning season against left-handed for an Orioles team was 1997, when they went 33-19. And I look today, there are 9 of the 14 American League teams who have a winning percentage against left-handed pitchers. So it's not as though you've got a lot of teams that have below 500 against lefties. But for the Orioles, it has been a long time.
And in 97 was the last time they have had a winning season. Yeah. They went wire to wire that year.
Here is Luke Scott. 7-game hit streak for Luke. Grounded towards the middle, make it 8. Tejada will make the turn. He's going to go to third. Here's the throw by Span, not in time. So Tejada picks up the first to third on a base hit to center.
So again, it's only 1 pitch, but that 3-1 fastball that was off the plate, they call it a strike, and then all of a sudden you get the hit by Scott. You better make this. Never want to make that first or third out at third base. Now the play's in front of him, so Miguel sees where Stan is playing. He's playing over in left center, and good throw, just a little offline.
So the Orioles are going to get a chance.
That's a good play, but because of the hamstring problem for Luke Scott, he can't go to third on the throw anyway, so you don't get the extra runner into scoring position. Plus, the Twins, they work the cutoff. If he had tried to, they would have just cut it off and taken the out at second.
Now for the Orioles, a look for that hit with a runner in scoring position. Adam Jones, 223 in these situations, almost exactly what the team average is. And it has not been a pretty homestand for the Orioles in that regard. They have not had a hit with a runner in scoring position in their last 15 chances. And on this homestand, they're only 10 for 67, about $1.50. Well, they need an early hit here and give themselves a chance to be on the other side of the early lead in a ball game. Here's the 0-1 delivery, and that will miss outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brian Dunsing has worked against the Orioles only once, a relief appearance on May 8th of last year. He only worked an inning. Dunsing getting his first start of the year after he was in the rotation last year. This is only his second year at the major league level. And the 1-1 delivery to Jones, grounded toward short, and the Orioles get that base hit. Tejada will score. Jones gets the RBI and a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, righties with all the home runs. He's never given up a left-handed hitter home run as a starter. So right here, there's the glove. He throws it down the middle, misses by a foot. Again, when you're not overpowering, as you look at your H.H. Greg Exmo, Adam gets a good pitch to hit, grounds it right back up the middle.
H.H. Gregg, we make buying TVs and appliances simple. Price and advice guaranteed.
And the other thing, and this is not as a starter because he's been in the bullpen until tonight. Again, 128 with runners in scoring position, so that's a huge hit. Not only for the Orioles, just he doesn't give them up very often.
Now Felix Piet with Roberts back, who's down into the order. He had an 0 for 4 in the ballgame last night. That one will go to first. Cadillo there to grab it and gets the out. But the Orioles get a run on 3 hits. 2 are left on, and after 1 here on Friday night at Camden Yards, the O's up 1-0. Something that has not happened a whole lot for Guthrie or many of the Orioles starters who have had to work from behind in ball games run-wise. Guthrie will face Cadillo. 7-game hit streak, added a home run in the ball game last night. As Michael Cadillo now here at Camden Yards, a .338 lifetime hitter. 15 RBIs and 3 home runs in this ballpark.
Yeah, he hits this ball off Kevin Millwood a long way. There you go. There's July for you, and this adds to the total. 430 feet left center. Big, long home run.
That was a blast. Cadillo's 4 for 10 with a home run lifetime off Guthrie. Ahead on the count here, 2-0. Slider will miss outside, and a 3-0 count. Thome and then Young in the lineup for the Minnesota Twins to follow. 8 of his 10, as you see, solo shots for Cadillo. 3-0 delivery to him. He's taking all the way, and it is in there for a strike. Cadillo, home run wise, has divided him up evenly, home and road. 3-1 delivery to him. The big cut foul back. Fastball at 94 to take it to 3-2.
Yeah, he's already at 97. That's the hardest I think I've seen him throw all year. Up to 96 against Toronto. He got him to chase the ball out of the zone. And
3-2 delivery to Cadillo, and he grounds out to second base. Got him on top of that one. Roberts will make the play. Cadillo's retired, 1 down.
Yeah, Jeremy has a theory. He said Rick Granitz told him, he said, listen, you're going to make a bad pitch, at least throw it harder. So, you know, a bad pitch at 96 is a lot better than one at 91.
Better chance you'll see it back in your glove and not in somebody's hands in the seats.
Yeah, I guess that's his thinking. He went to Stanford, so I'm not quite on that level, but you know, so it works.
Jim Thome did not appear in the ball game last night. He is in obviously tonight, the designated hitter at home. and on the road. Minnesota Twins this season. It's an interesting story because remember they're playing in a new ballpark. They had one of the biggest advantages in the Metrodome, home field advantage of anybody in Major League Baseball. They have kept that, even in a new yard. And against the shift, a base hit into center field. Jim Thome is on with a single. It'll come with one away here in the second inning, and it is their second hit of the ball game. Hardly anybody's as hot in baseball as Delman Young is, and he last night got a big break. That ball that wasn't caught kept the inning alive. 2 walks followed, and then Young, with the bases loaded, delivered a big 3 RBI double in the first inning. And upped his average to .316 with a 2-for-4 night. He'll go to the gap in right center. Charging, diving, Patterson's got it. Corey Patterson getting the start in right field. Makes a fine play.
Well, some tentative routes over the last month in left field, but not here in right. Boy, look at this. And you never catch that ball unless initially you get a great jump. And he does. Great speed, great reflexes right there. Thome, he's kind of station to station anyway. There you go.
Jeremy Guthrie with a point out. This is the first start for Patterson in right field. In fact, it is only the second time in a ball game, start-wise, that Markakis hasn't been out there. Lou Montanez started a ball game in right field earlier. Other than that, Markakis has been the starter in every game. Patterson had to figure out which way that was going to come, and he did. Here's J.J. Hardy. Hardy, the shortstop. 5-game hit streak for him. He continued it last night with a 2-for-4. He's had good numbers during the streak, 7 for 19. This Minnesota Twins team has really been hitting the baseball. .317 since the All-Star break as a team. That ball's going to be popped up left side. Tejada coming in as Torres will call him off, and will put it away. So Guthrie with a couple of solid innings. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 1 left on, and a big defensive play made by Patterson. The Orioles 16 straight games in which they have had a double. It is the longest current streak in the majors. And the Orioles will try and continue that here in the ball game tonight. We remind you to call today for the Luna Double. Get your second room of flooring free. Call 877-241-LUNA. So the Orioles on top 1-0. Tatum, Patterson, and his Torres coming up against Brian Dunsing. Tatum, a 4-game hit streak, 275. Matt Wieters due back on Sunday, but what a job Tatum has done behind the plate and at it. For Dunsing, we said he was a starter previously. There's Matt ready to go. 5-1 in starts. This is his 10th career start. Remember last year he was in the rotation. As a reliever, he's 3-2 with a 3.15 ERA. As a starter, 5-1 with a 2.73. He was having a great season as a reliever this year. His 1.67 second among left-handers ERA relief work in the league. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way, and Tatum on the off-speed pitch, 1-2. That is a great job coming off the bench.
Really is, and he stayed within himself. You've seen a little bit more power. I mean, the extra base hit, the double up the gap, because he usually sprays the ball back up the middle to right field. He's done a nice job of coming up here, and he's a good catch and throw guy. That's why they kept him. Chad Moeller looked like he was going to make it because of his experience, and he just didn't throw well. And Craig came up and did a terrific job in spring training. And there's a slider, So this is what Dunsing does best. I mean, he's already established the changeup. There's a good slider. He got PA to chase a slider. And right there, just a good breaking ball. 83, so changing speeds.
Dunsing has been a starter throughout his minor league career and would love to be able to get back into this rotation. And right now it's wide open as far as the Twins are concerned, because they really have had only two starters who are performing well, Lariano and Pavano. And otherwise, it's available. Patterson's ground ball played by Hudson, and there are two down. As a reminder, tomorrow's Orioles-Twins game, originally scheduled for 4:10, is a 7:05 game. Can be seen locally on MASN 2 HD. The gates to the yard open at 5 for season plan holders, 5:30 for the general public. For tickets, 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com. Again tomorrow, 7:05 for the ball game tomorrow night. Two down with the bases empty is Turris. And he will take the pitch for a ball. He has had a great homestand, going 10 for 25 in the homestand so far, providing some of the best numbers in the number 9 hole for any team in the American League. As Torres gets ahead on the count, 2-0. Will pop that one up right side. Kubel puts it away. So Dunsing comes back and has a 1-2-3 inning. We've completed 2 here at Camden Yards. The O's on top, 1-0. Mount Vernon Square and all the great art shops and coffee shops up there. Great place to go for just a wandering day around town, Mount Vernon. Our Boy Scouts who were here last night are back again. They watched the 3 ejections, learned some new language, won a couple of badges, and decided to return. Jeremy Guthrie. Nick Punto will foul that one off. Punto had a 1 for 4 in the ball game last night. He is batting in the number 9 spot. Span and Hudson to follow. We're talking about the Minnesota Twins moving to the new ballpark. Just to kind of wrap that up. Playing in the Metrodome since 1982. They had one of the greatest differentials in home and road winning percentages in their favor. In fact, it was third most to the Rangers and Astros in win differential home and on the road. And as we showed you, they have continued that this year. And I think it's kind of a surprise even for them. That,
it really is.
They're playing that well at home.
Yeah, I did the '87 World Series for ABC, and they won all 4 games to win that. One then in '91 they came back and won all 4 games, all at home. And a 7-game series.
The new yard may be advantageous too.
Yeah, and of course I think you looked, and this is a great pitch from Guthrie. Watch the slider again. He's done a nice job already, and it's only through nine guys, but he's moved them off the plate, and there's the breaking ball down and in. That was the pitch that really helped him against Toronto. Plus he had great stuff. Came in tonight throwing 96, 97 in the first inning. But when you went to the Metrodome, and I pitched there the first year, it was just different. You couldn't take your eyes off the fly ball. You couldn't call them off and then pick it up because of the roof. They had a team that seemed like they just played very well there. This other ballpark, you would think they'd be pitching better in the new park than they are, but they are winning.
Denard Span takes that one towards left center as Torres back and makes a nice play. Number 1 fielding shortstop in the American League is Torres. 2 down.
Yeah, there's a BA is really deep and left and kind of took a drop step back, and he's not going to get to this, so Cesar's right there to make the out. Otherwise it falls for a base hit. And Span's your guy that can steal bases. Not that the one thing about Guthrie, he really holds runners well. They've only attempted 5 steals all year long.
So 2 outs for Guthrie. Here's Orlando Hudson, who grounded out his first time up at 286 on the year. And he rockets that one. And Adam Ball, 1-2-3 inning. And that'll be 5 in a row retired by Guthrie. And down is Hudson as he was running to first base. On the swing.
Yeah, this looks like an oblique, and you don't like that because he's going to grimace right side, holds the rib cage. You hope it's just maybe a little bit of a spasm. And again, that ball, it looked like he hit it on the end of the bat, so a lot of torque. And I've seen Orlando the last 2 days down on the field. I mean, you're probably talking a guy with minimal body fat, so he's well conditioned. But that's one of the more chronic injuries, really. You got the hamstrings. There's Alexei, bone chips. They took him out, so he's back. And But you see it all the time. It's an amazing injury, the frequency of it.
So Casilla in and Hudson out. Brian Roberts second at bat. He grounded out his first time up. Brian back today at 284 lifetime average. Coming into this season. And just about there since he's had so few at bats. 32-year-old second baseman for the Orioles. He will take the pitch from Dunsing for a strike, 1-1. This one starts out looking like a pretty good pitching matchup as both starters seem to have it on in this game. 1-1 delivery, an off-speed delivery. He's going to miss outside, 2-1.
Well, Brian Roberts just has a knack for hitting. I mean, you saw him take the first pitch a little bit outside, then took a strike. You got to see the ball. All the good hitters will tell you they want to see what the ball looks like coming out of the hand.
2-1 delivery down to third, backhanded by Pingle. Makes the good toss over there and gets the out. One away in the third inning.
Yeah, you look at Nick Puto and you go, well, he doesn't have a great arm. He's not a big guy, but boy, does he make the plays. And Lovano really used him last night. He just seems to have a knack. Again, there he is. I told him, I said, what's the mustache about? I said, when you were the Yankees, maybe you wanted to go into the witness protection program, but now that you're 12-6, I think people would need to know who you are.
He'd rather not be known.
No, you know what? That probably had a lot to do with it.
Yep. Right back to the mound from Tejada. Dunsing will make the play. 2 down.
So again, he was just saying, it's funny. He said, boy, it was really a tight strike zone last night. I said, 5-hitter shutout, second one of the year.
He didn't have any trouble hitting.
No, not at all. Boy, he's on a roll. Boy, there's nothing like getting early runs and then being able to pitch well. And that's exactly what he did last night. They supported him well defensively, offensively early on. 3 in the top of the first. And he did the rest along with his defense.
2 down, nobody on. Here is Ty Wigginton. Wigginton flied out to right field his first time up. Dunsing with a 1-0 delivery. And he gets a strike in there. The Orioles against left-handers, 251. 10 points higher against right-handers on the season. Ty Wigginton, outfield deep on him. Very little breeze here tonight, if at all, depending on the moment. And the fastball will miss outside for a 2-ball, 1-strike count. .98 degrees at game time. Clear skies again. One of those days you think you're going to have some pretty rock'em sock'em thunderstorms, and there were none. That one in the air to right center field. He got all of it going back. Jason Kubel, and that's going to hit right off the base of the wall. The double streak will continue. He's thinking about 3 instead. Wigginton saw that ball fall in. He's got a triple.
Yeah, 2 outs. He's thinking double until the ball goes off the walls. Span late to back him up. Kubel's going out there. Watch this right here. 2-1. Good hitting count. Fastball. Great approach by Wiggy. Again, is starting to swing the bat again. And you could see him just extend through it. There's the hop right over. Where's your center fielder? Oh, I don't see him. That's why he goes all the way to third. And then again, he knows he better make it. And he does.
Good play watching it in front of him. His first triple of the year. The 12th triple of his major league career. And the first one for him since 2008 with Houston. Luke Scott, he had a single his first time up. Orioles get their 4th hit of the ball game. Scott now with the RBI opportunity. And a strike taken on the inside corner. So with 2 down, the Orioles get an RBI base hit by Jones in the first inning. And now look for another 2-out RBI. Luke Scott hitting .281 off left-handers, .286 off righties. Here's the 0-1 delivery to him. That will miss outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. This season, you see the home road differential, and it is different. He loves hitting here at Camden Yards. 11 home runs here, 25 RBIs of the 34, and a big difference in average.
And that RBI came off a guy that doesn't give up too many hits. 119. That's what lefties were hitting off of Dunsing before that. And right there, see, he's seeing the ball well because he just takes the curveball. A pretty good one.
Luke with an 8-game hit streak that he extended with the base hit he had his first time up. He too having a very good homestand. 8 hits and 17 at-bats during the homestand.
Well, he's hit lefties, righties, breaking balls, change-ups, fastballs, couple of fastballs for home runs off of Garza.
2-1 delivery to him, off speed, swung on, out in front of it, 2-2.
Well, the one thing, and you know, you see young pitchers, and of course Dunsing's out of University of Nebraska, is 27, but it's one thing to throw a 2-1 breaking ball, but to have the kind of quality breaking ball at 2-1, that's about as good a curveball as you can throw. So maybe that's why they want this kid out there, because not only can he change speeds, pitch backwards, in other words, he's not predictable, but the quality of his pitches is better than Blackburn's, who's now in the bullpen.
2-2 delivery, a swing on a miss. That'll be his second strikeout. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a base runner left on. Ty Wigginton, who will after this be noted for his tremendous speed, keeps the play in front of him. Brown second, hits to third and makes it. Your own great moment starts at Hager.com. Orioles have a 1-0 lead as we go to the 4th inning. Jeremy Guthrie and Brian Dunsing in a real good matchup here. Mauer will lead it off, a single, an 8-game hit streak extended because of the base hit that he picked up. League's leading hitter with runners in scoring position and 2 out. Joe Mauer, an RBI man, and closing in on that 300 average again. For him, this has been kind of an off season at the plate. Wouldn't be for anybody else. 0-1 delivery in the air to center. Jones going back, warning track, wall, and gets it.
Yep, one of the reasons you play deeper in this ballpark. I don't care if you win Gold Gloves, a bunch of them right here. Easy to get to it, didn't have to jump, just run back. Ball's been carrying over the last 10 days because it's been hot. It's a small park. Balls over your head are doubles and triples. 1 out.
That'll bring up Jason Kubel. Kubel, a strikeout victim.
And you also get an idea of how good a hit Mauer is, because that was down and away, just like the base hit. He almost hit it out of here.
So strong. Kubel, a strikeout victim. His first time up. 1-0 count on him. Hitting at 261. Kubel will take that one for a strike. Jason Kubel now 0 for his last 13 as Mauer back looking out there and wondering why he couldn't have pulled that ball or hit it a little bit the other way. 1-1 delivery is fouled away.
Well, one of the keys to pitching is to be able to, if you can, pitch to the big part of the ballpark. And a lot of that has to do with the location of the ball on the plate. So that ball down and in is a home run. Down outside middle, you get him to hit it right center, left center. Most of the time, you have a little more room to work with.
Here's the 1-2 delivery, and that will be inside. One-day game today as the Chicago Cubs, with their manager leaving at the end of the year, are actually playing a little bit of baseball. They shut out the Cardinals 5-0 today. Swung on and missed. And Guthrie's got his third strikeout, 2 down.
Well, we were seeing Jeremy Guthrie, the new dad, earlier in the week, and he's pitching like he did 2 years ago, 3 years ago, not last year. We don't want him to pitch like he did last year. But again, staying close, good stuff, great pitches, good life, change up, down and away. Kubel, a better fastball hitter, makes the perfect pitch.
2 quick outs, and here's Kadire. Kadire grounded out his first time up. The Cardinals are just a game and a half ahead of the Cincinnati Reds. In fact, with a loss today, they're only a game ahead, so that race goes on. In the Central, it's really between those 2 teams, as Milwaukee, Chicago, Houston, and Pittsburgh are too far behind with too many teams in between to do much about it. Kadire 0-2, 2 away, hitting at .277. And a roller off the end of the bat, Miguel Tejada. Good solid throw. And a 1-2-3 inning. Guthrie's retired 7 in a row, and it is 1-0 O's. It was a Java chip mocha kind of day. Double scoop in a cup. You couldn't put it in a cone because if you walked around with it, it would melt before you could eat it.
Is that how you tell the temperature?
You got to know those things.
You know, here at the ballpark we have trained.
Yeah.
You, of course, it's how the ice cream melts.
How the ice cream melts in a sugar cone. Over 90, put it in a cup.
So this is
or
what
stay inside and eat it.
This is what it's come to.
It has, but it's came to that a long time ago. And the pitch is outside to Jones, who's delivered the RBI, a single in the first inning, bringing home Tejada. And let me give Jeremy credit for one more. He's retired 8 in a row, not 7. 1-0 delivery. And that is taken for a strike. Brian Dunsing has no walks, 2 strikeouts. Guthrie no walks, 3 strikeouts. A run on 4 hits for the Orioles. They've left 3. The Twins 0-2-0. They have left 2. Foul back. Detroit postponed with Toronto. They've got bad weather there. Some summer thunder and heavy rains.
Yeah, but all eyes are pointing towards Cleveland. We just took a 2-1 lead because Tampa Bay has lost 17 consecutive games in Cleveland, which is mind-boggling.
It is mind-boggling.
Nothing against Cleveland and as a city or a team. It's just the numbers don't add up. Yeah, that's a lot of games.
1-2 delivery and another comebacker off the end of the bat. Jones is retired, 1 away in the 4th inning. Now time for our Cabot Woodstain's legendary performance. Mike Burley tosses the 18th perfect game in Major League history as he defeated that Tampa Bay team by a score of 4-0. July 23, 2009, 1 year ago. And this year, of course, The numbers for pitchers have just piled up. Shutouts, complete games, 1-hitters, 4 no-hitters, 2 perfect games.
Well, when the HGH testing, which they're going to do it, which is a blood test in the minor leagues, gets to the major leagues, they even have quicker games.
And I'm just letting that
roll
around.
Well, yeah. I mean,
just letting it roll around.
Well,
you're assuming the pitchers are as good as they are because they're not benefiting, but the hitters are, so the hitters will hit even less.
Well, they both might be, but
okay.
But again,
okay.
If the runs go down,
yep,
it usually benefits the pitcher.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, there'll be a nice lawsuit coming on that one before it hits the major league level.
Well,
but it'd be interesting. I mean, that's I applaud the commissioner for instituting it where he could.
Well, so he's the only professional sports league that has done that.
Yep. And you don't need to have the players' approval at that minor league level. Quick throw, one hop, not going to get him. Oh, he did! Wow. Hardy rushed that as much as he could, and PA almost getting an infield hit.
Yeah, JJ's up the middle, and then Kadir's going to help him out with a nice snag. But again, watch this, just a little slow road. He's got to come to his right. He's going to get it. Great speed. There's your bounce throw, and right here, I mean, snap throw because he has to hurry. But look at Kadir, and he's trying to keep the foot. Watch that foot. It stays on, and
good call.
Yep, he got it right.
Bruce Dreckman, good call down there.
Well, the only, I do applaud Bud Selig, the commissioner of baseball. The problem I've always had when they started testing in the minor leagues versus the big leagues, and we'll get back to that next week.
That'll be played by Casilla, with Hudson out of there. And Tatum's retired. Quick inning. 1-2-3 for Dunsink. Trivia question: who has the most career home runs against the Orioles all time?
I threw a lot of them. I would say probably Harmon Killebrew for playing the Twins.
Ooh. Not a division player?
Well, he hit a lot because we played him a lot. Just when he had 8 teams. I don't know. I just figure it has to be, or it could be Jim Thome.
I'll go Jim Thome.
Yeah, I'm going with Thome because he played more games.
We're trying to make the local connection, and he's coming up.
All right.
You are right.
Well, I threw 4 of them. I told you, he hit 130 off me, but he hit 4 home runs. He could hit him a long way. And then, you know what, he'd look at him because he hit him so far. I don't think, Harmon was the nicest guy in the world until he gets a bat in his hand.
Yeah.
But he had that thing.
Who's going to say anything to him while he watches him?
Nobody. Right, yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah, I just think he marveled.
Took a look at those cannons and you went, enjoy the view.
Well, it's the same thing right here.
Here's Jim Thome, and he will take the pitch outside. 3 of his career home runs have come off Jeremy Guthrie.
And he is very much like Harmon Killebrew in the sense they both hit a lot of home runs. They're both terrific guys. And great to have this guy on this ball club.
Did he go?
No.
He's got 575 homers, 10th most. Mark McGwire is next at 583. Here's the check swing. He's also got 1,595 RBIs, tied for 33rd. Mike Schmidt is next on that list for him. Pretty impressive company for Jim Thome. Singled his first time up. 3-2 delivery, and that will be fouled off. Here is the all-time home run list, subject to much debate and dispute. Bonds, Aaron Ruth, Mays, Griffey, Sosa, Rodriguez, Robinson, McGwire, Thome. Half of those people either known to have or alleged to have used steroids.
Yes. And that goes back to the point. I just know that they started testing the minor leagues long before they did in the big leagues, and did some stuff for drug companies in 32 different cities. And you saw the minor leagues; they had the same dreams as I did early on. There's a great pitch, breaking ball down and away. So you're dreaming about getting to the big leagues, but the guys in front of you aren't testing, and they're testing you. So it gives them a huge advantage, and there are a lot of guys that took advantage of it, both pitchers and hitters. So I think eventually, and I hope that the union understands that, if you really want to have a level playing field for all your players that aspire to be major league players, eventually do the blood test. Yep.
So Young is hit by a pitch. That is the 9th batter hit by a pitch this year by Guthrie.
Yeah, he's trying to go in, and he just goes in too much. And again, this is a 30-pound lighter, Delman Young. And he just says, okay, I'm on. It didn't even like it hurt.
No.
24-year-old kid having a marvelous year. Finally, as we talked about last night, Ron Gardenhire, his skipper, saying, you know what, he's made a total commitment to being both on and off the field, off season, on season, to be the best player he can be.
Now J.J. Hardy. He'll take it inside. Folks who may not understand that the drug testing at the minor league does not have to have collective bargaining approval from the association, because those players are not covered. If you're going to institute testing at the major league level, then you have to have a collective bargaining agreement. And so that's why it starts at the minor league level. Now they will try and bargain it into the major league level. The reason I said about the legal action is going to come is because this testing requires a blood sample, and a blood sample under law has always been protected by the right of privacy, that you don't have to give a blood sample unless ordered by a court. So we'll see. 2-0 count with one away. Young on at first base. Guthrie has given up only 2 hits in the ball game. A single in the first to Mauer, a single by Thome in the second inning. Hasn't walked anybody. He's only the third base runner, and he may eliminate them both. 5-4-3 double play. Tejada, Roberts to Wigginton. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. Good pitching matchup. Ask Nolan Ryan or the members of Ryan's group to come in with him, but he's ready to submit a bid, and the court is ready to hear it. Who'd have thought the Philadelphia Phillies wouldn't hit? Last year, 3rd in runs. They've dropped down to the middle of the pack, and as a result, their hitting instructor, Milt Thompson, has been fired. And who'd have thought the Cincinnati Reds would be the team bidding for a division championship, only a game and a half behind the Cardinals coming into today's play.
Yeah, 6th in runs and 5th in home runs get you fired in the National League, especially if it's a hitter's park. Yep, man, Cincinnati, great story.
Yeah. They are 13th. I mean, Philly, they're 13th in average, but they are 5th in runs, which is the ultimate goal, I think.
Well, they dropped Rollins down in the lineup because he was hurt, and then when he came back, he hasn't hit well. Wirth's a free agent. Ibanez is, after having an incredible first half last year, age problems. I mean, but I tell you, you go to that ballpark, you're going to score some runs.
Yep. They have struggled on the road a bit. And Philly's almost to the point where they're going to fall away here. They're 7 games behind Atlanta. Corey Patterson. Patterson grounded out his first time up. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Interesting lineup for the Orioles when you have a Roberts, a PA, a Patterson, all in the same lineup. Because the Orioles a lot more speed than normal. Here's Hardy. A busy night at short as Brian Dunsing continues to get the ground balls. On Friday, August 6th, don't miss Fireworks Night presented by AAA Mid-Atlantic. Stick around after the White Sox game, 7:05, for a great fireworks display. For tickets, 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com. That's the division-leading White Sox. At least they are now. August 6th, they'll be here, Fireworks Night. His Torres flying out to right field, his first time up. And we'll take it for a ball. Roberts at the top of the order, waiting on deck. Orioles run first inning. Jones an RBI single with 2 down. And a 2-0 count on his Torres. Ron Gardner, your setter, Brian Dunsing, because this is his first start this year. If I get 5 out of him, I'm golden. Anything after that's gravy.
Oh, yeah, but how about 5 innings if he gets through this inning with only 1 run?
Yeah.
That would even be better.
That's going to be taken up high, and a 3-0 count.
Well, we talked about it. They're in a division where last year 86 games got you into a playoff, 86 wins. And so, again, it's very competitive. They expect a certain standard, and Blackburn wasn't pitching as well. Scott Baker wasn't pitching as well as he's capable of. And, same with Kevin Slowey. There's Anthony Slama. He just got called up. And I read where I think he came in the other day, he got the mustache like
he does.
He said it's nice to see when he saw Pavanos, they're real men up here with mustaches.
Second base, Casillas back. We have not had word on Orlando Hudson as to the nature of the injury, but he went out after apparently pulling something along the ribcage, probably an oblique problem. And Casillas, first game back for him off the DL. He had been activated yesterday.
Hey, he got the in that playoff. He got the walk-off hit last year. Did not have a great year, but he got the biggest hit of the year. That's how they got into the playoffs. Swept by the Yanks. In fact, Dunsing started game 3. How's that?
Tells you how much they think about Dunsing in the organization. They passed over a couple of their starters in order to have him appear in that game in the American League Division Series against the Yankees. He gave up 5 runs, 7 hits, and 4 2/3 innings, but they still thought enough of his work to move him up into that role.
I remember watching that game, and it looked like he was a little bit out of. I mean, you're down 2-0, 3 out of 5, and you're gone, and maybe a little bit. Tempo was a little bit quicker than normal, especially tonight.
1 ball, 1 strikeout. Brian Roberts.
I cannot tell you how impressed I am with this kid, though. Just the quality of his pitches, and the ability to throw him, or at least the willingness to throw him at any time.
Roberts has grounded out twice in his return debut. We'll take that inside, and a 2 ball, 1 strike count on Brian. So back on the roster, and the decision, Scott Moore to be designated for assignment. Juan Samuel. Jake Fox remains. His versatility played a big part in allowing him to stay with the Orioles. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Roberts takes that for a strike. Jake can catch. He was winding up down on the field. They said, "You getting ready to pitch?" And he said, "Just ask me. I can play anywhere. I can do anything."
Well, he did for Pinella in Chicago last year.
2-2 delivery on the way, and that's down low and a full count. Dunsing 3-2, and might be seeing the tank lowering a little bit here fuel-wise for Dunsing.
Well, Slama throws in the upper 90s. I mean, it slows her down at their AAA affiliate Rochester. So And then again, Ron Gardenhire knows every win is so important.
And he gets the strikeout. His third of the ball game. So the Orioles are retired 1, 2, 3. That will be 7 in a row retired by Dunson. Beautiful sunset. Outstanding performance in this one. He has walked none. He has struck out 4 as he continues good performances, and this is 4th career start against the Twins.
Yeah, really. He's got the leadoff batter every time. He hasn't walked anybody. Of course, Dunsing's done pretty much the same. Couple of hits, actually 3 hits early on for him for the only run.
Nick Pinto to lead it off, up high for a ball, a strikeout victim.
Well, this does get your awareness and focus in key, because when you know you're not getting a lot of runs, you know you have to do the little things, and that's getting the leadoff runner off. You know, stay away from the double. You look right here, Maurer was a 2-out single down the left field line. Tomey, made a nice pitch, got the count in his favor. So again, a couple of hits, but they're in the ballpark. That's what you want to do with Maurer, especially Tomey, with the 575 home runs.
And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. It'll move Tejada in at third and fouled away. Now he can back up. Nick Pinto takes it to a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Keep in mind, Minnesota's playing without Justin Morneau, who overall this year has been their best offensive player. They have gone 6 and 9 without Morneau in the lineup as he continues to be evaluated with a concussion. And that is in there for a strike. Number 5 for Guthrie.
Yeah, great late life. The velocity was terrific in the mid-90s. He's hit 97 tonight. First time all year that I've seen. That was in the first inning. And look at that ball run. So again, good movement. Hoping it was outside, and it isn't.
Back to the top of the order. Here is Denard Span. He's bunting. Tatum jumps on it and gets the out. Sharp defense all around in this game. 2110 Utah Street, presented by Home Savings of America and Southwest Airlines, returns to Oriole Park tomorrow. 7:05 game. One low price. Reserve Utah Street bleacher seat. The exclusive 2110 t-shirt. Nick and Adam have some baseballs to give away between innings. There are special promotions. Space limited. 888-848-BIRD. Orioles.com for 2110. Nick not in the ball game tonight. He'll be back tomorrow, getting a second day off as a starter with Corey Patterson out there tonight. Alexei Casilla is getting his first at bat in the ball game, and Casilla will take that for a strike. Just returned from the DL 2 days ago. Surgery, bone chips, right elbow. He had a big rehab assignment. The Gulf Coast League in A ball, and he comes back with a base hit. Well, Casilla gets a 2-out single. And now Maurer's coming up. Oh, danger land here. You take a look through July 22. We talked about pitching domination, complete games shutouts. It has been a pitcher's year, no question about it. The no-hitters and the near no-hitters that have come more than ever. And whether that will continue all the way through the season, we'll see. But
yeah, you read all the
I believe it won't.
All the people that write about the game, and I don't know if they've asked a lot of pitchers. I don't know if you ever ask any pitchers, and they go, well, I'm going to get more tired as the season progresses. Earl Weaver, when he was in, said my pitchers got stronger. So I don't really think that's the case, but people think that the hitting will come along as the season goes on, and I don't know if that's necessarily true.
No, I don't either anymore.
I mean, you can certainly look at, for the Orioles to even play better, they're just going to have to get their starters, which is what Guthrie's doing better, so your bullpen can get a little bit of rest, and they don't have to pitch the kind of innings. But for the contending teams, pretty much, you handle your pitching after May 1st about the same way you handle it all year long.
Mauer now with a runner on and 2 down, so a big at bat for Guthrie with the 1-0 lead. Mauer got a single his first time up, 8-game hit streak, 1 for 2 in the game.
Well, Casilla, that was a pretty big hit because it was an 0-2 pitch. Jeremy tried to go away, didn't get it away, and he gets him up in a 1-0 game, and he singled to left and almost homered to center. Hit it about as deep as you can and keep it in the ballpark.
Runner at first base, 1-1. And the throw over as Casilla was leaning a little bit.
And again, they've only attempted 5 steals all year long against Guthrie. In all these starts and all these innings, he only caught 4, but that's just the frequency tells you he's pretty quick to the plate.
Mauer's a .339 hitter here at Camden Yards in his career. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery to him, and he will foul that one away.
Yeah, you get the feeling with Casilla that if you hold the ball and then throw, you might pick him off. Again, you miss about a month. He had the bone chicks taken out of his elbow. In the minor leagues, he's done some stealing. You just hold the ball if you're going to throw over there. Just hope that he gives himself up and maybe starts leaning, and then he becomes a potential out. He's going to get a pretty ample lead. He's in the cutout right here. Whoops. Sorry, Joe. That cutout, I didn't mean to put a mark on him. MVP. Come on, I'm sorry.
1 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way, and Mauer will hit it in the air to center field. Jones going back at the wall, and goodbye home run. Joe Mauer delivers the homer. And a 2-1 lead for the Twins.
Well, career high last year with 26, and I said, what's going on? He said, big ballpark right here. He gets a slider. It speeds up the bat. We talked about, can you pitch to the big side of the ballpark? And you can see it just kind of spinning, so he picks it up. And they don't come down, not lately, especially when he hits it.
His second home run in this ballpark.
Yeah, Jeremy's hoping it's going to die, but the balls aren't dying in the heat. They're just carrying.
First home run that he's had off Jeremy Guthrie. Jeremy gives up his 17th of the year. 13 of them have been hit by, 12 of them by left-handers, 5 by right-handers. That ball is going to be fouled away by Jason Kubel. So on one swing of the bat, Mauer makes it a 2-1 Minnesota lead, and it comes with 2 down, and the importance of that Casilla hit.
Oh, it really was. It's not like he's hitting right-handed because he is a switch hitter. He's 5 for 9 against lefties, but he was 5 for 30. Actually make it, 5 for 30. So, again, he gets on, and it was 0-2, and then you get Mauer to the plate.
Foul back by Jason Kubel.
And this is an important batter because he had 28 home runs, 26 of them against right-handed pitching last year. So, again, emotionally, you got to really stay focused. You gave up a 2-run home run with a 1-run lead. You can't possibly let it affect you. Just get this guy out and move on.
2-2 delivery. That's going to be a base hit into left field. And Kubel is on. So after 2 down, 3 hits, 2 singles, and a homer.
So a hanging slider, a fastball in the middle of the plate, and a high changeup. So Jeremy just has to settle down, back up. This is great Craig Tatum. He's done a terrific job. He comes out. He's going to talk to him. Go back to making good pitches. That's one of the keys to pitching.
That will bring Kadire up. Twins now out hitting the Orioles 5-4. Breaks up an 0 for 14 for Kubel as he picks up that base hit. Now the dangerous Kadire. He has grounded out twice. He had a home run in the ball game last night. The Twins have had 21 wins this year without a home run. That is the most wins by any ball club in the major leagues in games where a homer is not hit. They got one last night in the win, and now they've got one here tonight. Whether they win or lose remains to be seen. But they are a ball club that does things other than hit the long ball to win games.
Well, that goes to that 290 with runners in scoring position. They're the highest in the league. That just gets it done.
And a ground ball towards the hole. That's going to be a base hit. PA up with it will hold Kubel at second base. And now Kadire's on. So that's 4 on after there were 2 outs.
Well, again, here's the delivery from Jeremy Guthrie. This is going to be a changeup that ends up in the middle of the plate. And again, just finds a hole. So Rick Kranich will come out and try to just... You got to be disappointed, and I can't tell you how many times over 500-plus starts where you'll have a 1-run lead in the 8th or 9th inning, and you throw a home run, your heart's sinking down by your feet, and you just got to figure out, hey, I got to stop it right there, and it's tough to do.
And now runners on at first and second base, and you've got to face Jim Thome. And when you're talking about home runs, always the danger with the designated hitter at the plate. And Thome can take a ball out into any field with the power that he has, his strength.
Well, and the people that seen him play, and I still remember when he came up, Charlie Manuel had been his manager in Charlotte when he came up early on, and he said he was like a man playing with boys at AAA. And he can hit him, and he can work the count into his favor if you can't make quality pitches, because he's got an idea of what he wants to hit. So very rarely will you see him, over the course of 575 home runs, get himself out early in the count.
0-1 count on him, 2 on. That's going to miss up high. Thome has singled and struck out. Jim Thome here at Camden Yards, average only .221, but he has hit 15 homers in this ballpark in 59 games. And the pitch is inside, and Guthrie now 2-1. Obviously, big moment in this ball game.
And he's hit 3 home runs in July, average .283, higher in his lifetime. And the one thing he does, he gets you into the hitter's counts.
2-1 delivery to him, and he tried to drive that one.
Well, he just, again, got a great pitch to hit, slider. That's what Maurer hit out. So Jeremy had really made very few bad pitches until 2 outs with Casilla at the plate. Got in the middle of the plate, hanging slider, hanging changeup. Couple of those, another slider, and change up to Kadire.
2-2 delivery against the shift, right into it, knocked down, and the play made by Asturis. Boy, was that ball stung, but the shift perfectly played it. Maurer, the 2 RBI homer, and a 2-1 Twins lead. at Orioles.com. So Brian Dunsing, the starter, the benefactor of the 2 runs and the homer by Mauer, leaves the game with a run on 4 hits over 5, and his first start could be a winner. And if ever a pitcher was named with a pitcher's name, it's got to be Anthony Slamma.
Well, he hopes they don't slam some. And I tell you, he's got good stuff. Major League debut 2 days ago in Cleveland. A couple of strikeouts in an inning, so dominating. Made the All-Star team, Futures game. Not a high draft choice, 39 rounds, but pitcher of the year 2 years ago, and he saved 25 down in Double-A, New Britain. So he comes in with a 2-1 lead. This is a whole situation.
Yep, 26-year-old right-hander.
So there you go. All happened back in the first inning.
Miguel Tejada, who had a single and scored in the first on the 2-out single by Adam Jones. 1-0 delivery to him, breaking ball in for a strike. Slamma, the age of 26, on Gardenhire yesterday, asked where are you going to pitch this guy. He said, I have no idea. He'll fall in wherever he's supposed to. Said,
well,
good,
okay. They had the best bullpen in the American League. Oh, there's the fastball.
So. They like his arm.
Yep. Well, let's see. But I know only 89, so maybe deceptive. I thought he threw a little bit harder than that. Maybe he will. Of course, 89, if you have some movement and can make quality pitches, can be effective. Not as effective as 99 with movement and deception, but
another tall guy on the really looks on the slender side, 6'3", 204 out of Orange County. Right through the wickets and a base hit for Tejada. The Orioles get the leadoff man on, 6th inning. Tonight's Maryland Lottery Hit It Here fan of the game is Brandon Bazemore from Windsor Mill. If an Orioles player hits the Hit It Here sign located in the bullpen area, Brandon, you get $100,000. To find out more about how you can become the fan of the game, visit mdlottery.com/hitithere. Good luck, Brandon.
That's right. Hit it to the Boy Scouts. Well, that won't get you $100,000.
Get you a badge.
Yep. I wonder if they had that same popcorn box that
passed around last night.
Passed around it.
It was an endless. It was full.
Everybody was taking stuff out, and it
never emptied.
No.
It was an amazing. See, that's what happens when you're a Boy Scout. Ty Wigginton with a runner on at first base. The Orioles with 5 hits now, and the Twins have 6. 2-1 Twins lead. Game 2 of the 4-game set. Don't forget the game tomorrow night. Time was changed. It's a 7:05 game tomorrow night. Brian Mattis, Scott Baker. 0-1. That'll be away. Dick and Jane watch Ty run all the way to third. First triple of the year. And it was heads-up base running. He just watched the play in right center field, and when that ball bounded away, he saw he had time. He was going after more than a triple right there.
Yeah, you got that right. Well, that's that slider. That's what Tejada hit back up the middle, and Anthony Slamma is going to realize that the slider up here, even if it's down, and it was, but if it's not off the corner, especially with 2 strikes, guys will get to it. Well, we saw that in the Tampa Bay. You see so many young pitchers come up and they make pretty good pitches, but they just have too much of the plate. And the hitters up here, they do a heck of a job of hitting them.
Here's the 1-2 delivery, foul back on the fist.
And that's an awfully good pitch there, and Wiggy's able to stay alive. Ron Mahay, the veteran, ran into the day. I said, you look different. You didn't have the kind of had the 2 or 3 day growth today for Ron.
1 ball, 2 strike count with the Orioles trying to get back here in the 6th inning. Ty Wigginton will watch. 1 ball, 2 strike count on it.
So real men wear a mustache. You ever wear a mustache ever?
Unfortunately, yes.
At what age? I mean,
23 or 4.
Formidable years.
They weren't very formidable. That ball's going to bounce away, and that will get Tejada down to second base.
Yeah, a little wild pitch there. Breaking ball that bounces. And a backhand by Joe Mauer.
Mentioned the Ty Wigginton's suspension, a fine that's never announced. I had heard a very high figure, apparently, when I mentioned it earlier. Amber Thiel-Harris is good enough to come in and say she thinks the fine is about $2,500. That ball is popped up in the air, first base side. And that will be put away by Kadire. Wigginton retired. One down in the 6th inning. Runner, though, at second base. Potential tying run with Scott and Jones due up. On Sam Wells Ball Club battling. Rick Anderson, the pitching coach, is on his way to the mound.
Well, this could be obviously about Luke Scott, who's coming to the dish as hot as he is. What do they want to do? How they want to pitch him? You know, it's going to be more inclined to try to get him out with breaking balls. But as we mentioned over the series with Toronto and Tampa Bay, he's hit everybody, every kind of pitch you can hit.
Long discussion with Anderson. He's got the bullpen ready. I don't think he needed any more time for the pen. That was an honest discussion about what to do here. So Tejada's on at second base, and Luke Scott try and get him home and get this ball game tied up or better. 286 on the season. An 8-game hit streak that he extended with a single. Runner will be held close at second. And Scott will take the pitch down low for a ball. Luke hitting only 143 with runners in scoring position this year. 9 for 63. He's got another shot at it right here. Orioles haven't had many chances, only a couple in the ball game. Jones came through to break an 0 for 15 with runners in scoring position over the last 2 games, and Adam got the RBI single in the first. Since then, Scott had a chance in the third and struck out, and that's been the only other opportunity. See Hardy right behind Tejada at second. Not this time. Way back, right field, and goodbye, home run. And the Orioles are back on top, 3-2.
You know, I think if you came in your rookie game and you threw it this far and this hard and this quickly on the line, Luke's going to watch it. Sammer might watch it because this ball is blasted. Still only a 2-run home run, but this is, I mean, right to the power of Luke Scott, and he doesn't miss it. He's not missing anything lately.
So Slamma gives it up, and Scott got it. And State Farm will donate $100 to the Wounded Warrior Project for every home run hit by the Orioles in the second half of the season. And the Orioles back on top. So Dunsing's non-decision, and Guthrie's back on top as a pitcher of record. What a month of July Luke Scott is having. That's his 3rd home run this month. He's had 9 hits in 19 at-bats in July. Coming off the DL, of course, and they've not been able to hold him hitless in a ball game coming off the DL yet. And the Orioles on top with Tejada getting the single and scoring ahead of him. That one down to third. That's a fair ball. Nick Punto, what a play! Unbelievable stop and an even better throw.
Well, this is why he's playing. And he does it every year. Watch this. Great jump. Catches it from the knees. And you talk to Ron Gardenhire, you know, hey, couldn't you find somebody with a better bat? Well, he probably could. Does he make this play? Does he can turn a double into an out? And look how far on H.H. Gregg. Slow it down. Look at the jump he gets. He's off the line, playing the percentage, catches it. Slides to a halting stop, and then from your knees. Oh, yeah.
Third base this year. Wow.
Well, number 5 used to do that all the time.
Yep. So Jones denied his second hit of the ball game. And 2 down. Felix Piet, he was robbed of a hit by Hardy earlier in the ball game. It's short. Swings through the heater, and a 1-ball-1-strike count. Luke Scott now with 15 home runs, 36 RBIs. Put the Orioles up by a score of 3-2. Each team with 6 hits in the ball game. The Orioles designated hitter continues to be one of the top DHs in the game. A little looper third base Punto again coming over, and will make the catch. But the Orioles get the hit they needed. Luke Scott doing it after Tejada had reached. And with one away, Scott drives one and makes it a 3-2 O's game.
Second RBI by Adam Jones. Tejada with a base hit. The 1-0 lead evaporates. Fifth home run by Joe Mauer after Cassie singles, and then Luke Scott. Luke goes deep. His 15th home run of the year, and the Orioles take a 3-2 lead with one of the better, hotter hitters coming up, Delman Young.
Real good ball game. This is the hottest hitter in the month of July in the American League. He's batting .400 coming into the ball game in July, and he's had 3 home runs. In this game, he got robbed of a hit on a fine catch by Patterson in right field and was hit by a pitch his last time up. Jeremy Guthrie, who is looking for his 4th win of the season. The team has gone 5-14 in his starts this year. He's got the 3-2 lead back after Mauer had put the Twins out on his home run. Down to third, backhanded by Tejada. Young is retired. 1 down, 7th inning. Join the Oriole Advocates on Friday, August 6th, 11 to 2 for the annual Orioles Hall of Fame luncheon at Oriole Park, 6th floor of the warehouse. Special luncheon honors the 2010 Orioles Hall of Fame inductees Ray Miller, the late Johnny Oates, and Len Johnston. Individual tickets, $50 each. To get yours or info, 410-466-8242. Hardy has popped out and hit into a double play. J.J. Hardy with his 5-game hit streak. Guthrie gets the outside corner against him. Will Oman in the bullpen.
That's probably for Denard Span, the leadoff hitter.
Ball's popped up behind the plate. Tatum, no play. Jeremy Guthrie looking for a W. He has not had a win since May 25. And that is over a 9-game span in which he has lost 6 and been non-decisioned in 3. And Jeremy would love to have a W and get that streak out of the way. A 1-ball, 2-strike count. Hardy.
See you. What I tell you, you can live on those corners. You just can't make any better pitches than he just made to J.J. Hardy. I mean, watch this. Glove, ball, strikeout. And again, this is something you alluded to right here. 3 wins, marvelous, and probably some run support. 6 no decision, pitch well, no run support. 10 losses, didn't pitch well, wouldn't have mattered.
He has reached his strikeout high on the season for the third time. In fact, he had it against Toronto. He had 6 strikeouts in his last ball game against Toronto, which he gave up only the run on 7 hits and 6 in the third that ended up being non-decision.
Okay, but again, now right here is where you just back off. You know that Punto, he's not a home run guy. You got to throw him a strike. Got to be down. Make him put the ball in play. And if you do, you get through the 7th inning. If you don't, Holman comes in. And you can see Juan Samuel already putting the card down, and so you're going to be gone. And then you hope your bullpen gets the job done. But it's a very hot night, and the pitch count close to 100. There's Will getting ready.
3-0 delivery on the way. Nick Punto taking. Punto has struck out twice, once swinging, once called. Guthrie with 2 down, 3-1. Up to 103 pitches thrown in the ball game. Here's the 3-1 delivery. Punto shows bunt. Lays down a good one. Tatum up. Guns it. Gets it. 2 good plays made by Tatum behind the plate without arm. 7th inning stretch time brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. Please drink responsibly. Andy was at the Battle of the Bulge. He was known as the Major. That's the rank he came out of the Army with. And the MacPhail family had a lot to do with him. Lee MacPhail, Andy MacPhail's dad, hired him with the Yankees. And Andy would have much to do with him later on. And Andy talked about his passing.
Well, he was, a very, very close friend of my dad. My dad was his general manager in the Yankees for, from like 67 to 72 or 73 or so. And they had a very tight relationship. And I can remember as a kid, being at countless spring training dinners with the two of them when they would discuss the team. And it was always a lot of fun for me. And I was smart enough just to keep my mouth shut and listen.
And we recognize the passing of Ralph Houck, a really great guy. Here is Tatum. I talked with Andy, I was talking with him about that today. Andy hired him to go to the Minnesota Twins, and Andy was telling me today, I probably would not have had that job, and Tom Kelly probably wouldn't have been manager if Ralph Houck had not agreed to come and be a senior consultant. That ball's going to be into right field, and that's going to be a base hit for Tatum. Andy said that the owner required that there be some senior person to be overseeing what was going on, and Ralph Houck ended up being that person. And when the Twins won the World Series that year, Andy said, I went down to Florida, I called Ralph, I wanted him to come to the World Series games in Minnesota, and he said he wouldn't come because he did not want to take any of the credit. And that's going to be it for Slam Up. He is out of there. Nahey is going to come out of the bullpen. He'll be the third pitcher seen in this ball game from the Twins. O's up. with the world we share. Real good ball game in game 2 of this 4-game set. Here's Mayhew.
Yeah, he comes in, veteran lefty, 38 years of age. And he can get you out, slider, change up. You can see right there. Again, if you're going to pitch for the Twins, at least if you're going to stay around, you can't walk a lot of guys. They get the lowest amount of walks in the American League, 2.7 per 9 innings. So he comes in. And, of course, you probably guess in retrospect, you think he would have matched up because they have Majerus back there. They have a couple lefties out there and might have brought him in against Scott. So the Orioles take advantage of that. See if he can get Patterson out.
Patterson bunting for a base hit. Or at least the sacrifice, and we'll get the ladders. So he moves Tatum down to second base on a good bunt.
Yeah, nothing like having a lead, because you can give up outs and they can hopefully be productive, where if you're down, you got to go up there swinging. So this is about getting them over. Voorhees, who does a nice job bunting.
That's about as good as it gets done right there.
Yeah, we saw PA do it in the extra inning game, the 13-inning game, and then Lugo hit one over the bag. So again, the little ball. I'll tell you, Juan Samuel, a little bit more running when presented with you. If you don't get them over, work on your bunting.
6 sacrifice for Patterson this year. Runner in scoring position is Torres. 0 for 2. He is flied out and popped out. For Mayhew this season, left-handers hitting 200 against him. Right-handers 293. He's given up 4 home runs, 3 to right-handers. It's Turris with a runner at second. Orioles up by a run. And out in front of that, and a 2-strike count.
Jesse Train, another guy that's been awfully good in that bullpen. Number 1 bullpen in the American League. Hadn't been scored on for Crane. 23 out of 24 appearances. And Mayhew with a good changeup to get his Turris to swing through it.
Tatum at second base. Only one away is Turris with a 2-strike count. Late on a swing and fouls it into the seats.
Yeah, up over his head.
Little woodchopper's ball right there.
Yep.
Hitting at 252. So this is going to be a bullpen night. With Brian Dunsing out of there. Slam is the pitcher of record. Worked an inning plus. Gave up 3 hits. The home run to Luke Scott, responsible for the runner on at second base. 0-2 delivery. Tried to get him to go after that same pitch again, and he refused. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
And the Oriole bullpen's still up, so you would assume with that, when a lefty coming up, it looks like Ullman's still throwing at Brian Roberts. Jeremy Guthrie. 6 1/3, 7 innings.
Back to third base. There's one, and that's it. Hauled in by Nick Quinto. It was right at him. 2 down. Find the latest gear at the official online shop of the Orioles. Browse the largest selection of online official caps, T-shirts, jerseys, and collectibles. 24/7. Get your gear from the official source, the Orioles.com shop. I did want to add one final note on Ralph Houck, who passed away at the age of 90. So I said he was in World War II. He was at Omaha Beach, and he had a helmet. And I asked Andy McPhail whether he ever saw it. And Andy said, yes, I did. I went to his home in Florida to visit once, and he showed me the helmet. It had a bullet hole in the front, and it had a bullet hole in the back. And it was from Omaha Beach on the landing at D-Day. And a bullet went through the helmet and did not in any way injure Houck. And he kept it. Had it till his death.
Yeah, managing the World Series is a piece of cake after that. What do you think?
How does your life change after something like that? Here's the 1-0 delivery.
Well, I just remember pitching against his teams, and they loved him. Whether it was with the Yankees, and we saw Juan Samuel Weaver put on some act. When he got going, the major, that's what they call him, paper, major goes berserk. I mean, he could put on a show, but if you played for him, you knew that he knew what he was doing as far as managing.
And you knew who the boss was.
Yep.
A 2-0 count, Brian Roberts, runner at second base. I know when I did the Mets in New York, there were 2 names that were constantly raised in baseball circles in New York out of respect in every way, both in and out of baseball. Gil Hodges and Ralph Houck. 2 of the most respected people in the game that I've ever heard of or encountered. 2-ball, 1-strike count on Roberts. Brian's 0 for 3 in his return. Runner at second, 2 down. And that'll be taken down low, 3-1.
Yeah, an opportunity to drive in his first run of the year. Again, the herniated disc. And then back off the DL since early April.
And back with a big splash and a base hit right here. Mayhay 3-1. And a strike on the outside corner. Ryan, a .263 lifetime hitter against the Twins.
Yeah, see, that's just a ball. And that happened in the first inning to Wigington. Otherwise, he's been pretty consistent.
Gary Darling, the crew chief behind the plate. So 3-2, 2 down. Tatum off second. That'll be a foul ball.
Because Brian is very, very willing, and that's why he's such a tough out, is because if you don't throw him a strike, not always, he'll take the walk and let Tejada come up and try to hit off Mayhay, even though they have a right-hander in the bullpen behind him.
Mayhay and Roberts, 3-2 delivery. Right field. Kubel. And Mayhay gets the out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on.
Look at Wigington's in the stands last night. He got thrown out and he's in the stands. That's his twin brother, or maybe younger twin brother. If that can't be possible. But
I
there
thought
you go.
The hat kick was pretty reminiscent.
It was. I told him, I said, you got Earl on the hat toss. And I took his hat off and I tossed. He said, well, what did it look like? I didn't get to see it. I said, it went a long way and it went real high.
We'll send him a copy of the tape.
I said, you got to take 7 off that number, because that was very much like Earl Weaver, number 4 last night. So here we go. Ullman, left-handed specialist. And again, with Maurer, a couple of hitters down, this might be a little longer, even though you have somebody up behind him in the bullpen, this might be a little longer trip on the mound than we usually see from Will.
Jeremy Guthrie, outstanding job. A chance to win his 4th as he went 7 innings. Gave up just the 2 runs on 6 hits. Did not walk a batter and struck out 6.
Yeah, great back-to-back outstanding starts for Jeremy.
Maurer had the home run off him, accounting for the 2 runs Minnesota has.
Yeah, I mean,
Ullman to protect it.
I mean, if you take away, well, it's 5 batters, but he just made 5 batters in the or 4 batters in the 6th inning. Other than that, he's as good as I've ever seen him pitch. And he got out of harm's way, and the Orioles took the lead.
3rd time this year, Guthrie has gone through a ball game without surrendering a free pass. Two-strike count on Denard Span. Span has an 0 for 3 in the ball game and a 1 for 8 in the series. Get the matchup of the lefty against lefty here. Span 278 off left-handers, even a little better than off righties. 0-2 by Ullman is going to be punched into left field for a base hit. Just enough to get it out there.
Yeah, he just did not get the slider where he wanted to. It ended up in the middle of the plate. And that's what you were talking about. All the home runs against right-handed pitching, but this is what Denard Span does for this club. He can run the bases. Nobody has as many steals, 17 out of 18, and then he hangs in there. So if you don't execute your pitch, he's got a chance to get on, and that's exactly what happened.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Now Casilla, who has singled and scored. Runner at first, nobody out. Casilla came on for Hudson. Orlando Hudson had to leave the ball game after he went out with something wrong with his side, probably an oblique injury. And then Hudson came on to play. Throw over, and that's just a lob toss to get Span back to the bag.
And this is his good side. 5 for 9 on the year as you look at David Hernandez. Well, you hoped it will Ullman, and we saw it last time. Jeremy Guthrie against Toronto left with a 2-1 lead. Single by Escobar, home run Batista. The Orioles lost that game by a run. So it's up to the bullpen.
Will Ullman has been used a lot by the Orioles. Probably overused, according to Juan Samuel, but needed. Bunting. Ullman. Roberts to cover. And the play made. It will be a sacrifice for Casilla, moving Span down to second base.
Yeah, and it's Ron Gardenhire, the skipper of the Twins, saying, you know what, okay, what do you want to do if you're Juan Samuel? Do you want to set up the double play and get lefty versus lefty with Kubel on deck and put the potential go-ahead run down at first, or do you want to pitch to my guy that won the batting title for 3 times?
Joe Mauer has delivered the long ball, 6th inning.
Yeah, Casilla gets on. He gets a high slider, and it just keeps going. 1-0 becomes 2-1. And Luke Scott hits a 2-run shot, and Orioles with a 1-run lead.
5 on the year for Mauer. Runner at second and 1 out. And that is there for a strike. 2 for 3 in the ball game. Mauer has hit successfully now in the last 8. Against left-handers, a 264 average. Right-handers, 319. 3 home runs off righties, including the one he hit tonight, and the 2 off left-handers.
And normally you don't play the tie on the road. I think that has something to do about his bullpen. The back end of the Twins bullpen is so good, Ron Gardenhire will take his chances.
0-1 delivery on the way, and Mauer ripping for another one, fouls it back. And a 2-strike count.
Yeah, perfectly placed fastball out of the zone and got him to chase.
Playing with a bad shoulder, acknowledges it, but won't talk very much about it. It's one of the reasons they're going to DH him a little bit to try and rest that shoulder from having to catch and throw as much, and hope it doesn't interfere with his bat.
Yeah, you ask him how he feels, he goes, all right, yeah, exactly. You got to play, especially in the middle of a pennant race.
2-strike count on him, 1 down. Casilla off second base. Ullman's delivery to him will be down low. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And Gary, I don't know if I've really faced a whole lot of guys that, maybe Brett cut his swing down. Of course, Brett in the Hall of Fame, and he'll hit a little bit more flat-footed. And again, what makes Joe Mauer so good is that the front foot gets down and he can hit it anywhere. If you throw him a slider like Guthrie, he'll speed up his bat. Weeder's looking on. And again, he'll just take the ball to left field with the best of them.
1 ball, 2-strike count. Casilla edging off second. Ullman a very long look. Mauer will take it. And the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. It will be interesting. You saw Matt Wieters watching Mauer warm-up action in the bullpen here. Mauer came up with a lot of discussion about his power. And more so an average, for a high average hitter in the American League now, without all the power everybody talked about. Wieters came up with the same kind of discussion that there was going to be a lot of power. Will there be? We'll see. Ground ball towards second base is Torres. Big out.
Yeah, really, and a great pitch. Contrary to the one that the Denard Span got with 2 strikes, this time Will Ullman does, and he's got a pretty good idea of what he wants to do. He just throws them the low and away slider, and even the quality pitches get some of the better hitters out if you can make them.
So Jason Kubel, and the discussion will be held lefty against lefty here. Kubel at 240 off lefties, 273 off righties.
Well, that begs a good question because, Mauer's first year, full year, he only hit 9 home runs. Then it went to 13, back to 9. And then he figured it out. They started pitching. He was so good off the outside part of the plate. They pitched him in. Good swing. Home runs jumped to 26. Now they're back away. And maybe the injury factor.
And the ballpark.
Yep. And, Matt's just going to have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And
either way it works. If you can be a hit for a high average with extra base hits and RBIs, more power to you. Or less power to you. Here's Jason Kubel. He has struck out a couple of times in the ball game and then had that single his last time up. Runner at third base, potential tying run. Each team with 7 hits. The O's have the 3-2 lead, playing in the top of the 8th inning of a real good ball game. It has been about pitching and defense. Here's the 0-1 delivery. That'll miss outside, 1-1.
Well, you got Hernandez up because after Kubel, you get Kadire, and then after Kadire, you get Tomey.
It's a very tough lineup.
Yeah, it really is.
Even without Morneau.
Well, just imagine you throw in another 18 home runs and another guy that was MVP back in 2006.
1-1 delivery to him on the inside corner. Crossed him up location-wise, 1-2.
Yeah, got away with that a little bit because the city's thinking right here, where can I go where he's not looking?
19,013, 19013, the announced attendance making some noise. 1-2 delivered. 2-2. Knowledge of the strike zone up and down the lineup for this Twins team.
Yeah, Jason Kubel, as we mentioned, his power. Last year, this year, coming against right-handed pitching. Right here, he doesn't need power. All he needs to get is a base hit.
Casillas the runner at third. Will Ullman with a 2-2. Thought about it, and the count is full. Couple of good stops made by Tatum, the kind you got to make, but you do got to make them, and he did.
Yeah, a little different with a runner at third. He's not coming home unless the ball really gets away. If you're on first or second, you're probably going because, again, you're not in scoring position, obviously, for your first base, but again, just keep him in front, shovel him in front. And he's done a nice job while he's had an opportunity to play. And they just have a little conversation. They're going, and Kubel's saying, well, let's see, that's what, 4 straight sliders? Will he throw me a fastball? Who knows?
Who knows? You got to protect against anything. 3-2, 2 down. Will Ullman looking to end the inning. 3-2 delivery, and he walked it. Well, Kubel draws the first walk of the ball game. And there are runners on at first and third. That will be it for Will Ullman. He will come out of the ball game having worked 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit and 1 walk, and responsible for the 2 base runners. The right-hander David Hernandez coming on to face Kadire. TVs and appliances, simple. H.H. Gregg, price and advice guaranteed. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer with you in just a heck of a ball game here. David Hernandez on the pitch.
Yeah, even gets better. 5 runs, 23 innings now since he's gone to the bullpen. Couple of saves. There you go. Power pitcher, fastball hitter. David last pitched a couple of days ago. Hit a couple of strikeouts in an inning against the Rays.
Kadaya 2 down, 1st and 3rd, and takes the ball in the air to center field. Jones going back at the warning track and makes the catch. Kadaya retired on the long fly ball. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and to our left we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Orioles lead it 3-2. Food courts with a rotating menu of made-to-order items and an extensive dessert station. It's also where you'll find Booth's famous barbecue in the club level.
Wow.
Cafe is open.
Well, you're reading that. I'm looking at the food.
Sound effects provided by Hallmark. Cafe is open for all club-level ticket holders. The All-Star Cafe on the Oriole Parks club level.
We were showing all the food while you were reading that. How could I not say well?
Oh, it's perfectly appropriate. We'll, in fact, after we'll be ensure that you receive credit for background information. Here's Jesse Crane.
Hard throwing righty. Fastball slider guy. Again, pitched very well. Only an earned run in 1 of his last 24 appearances. You know, a save. Of course, John Roush, again, the #1 bullpen, and Joe Nathan, their closer, with 46 saves last year. Tommy John, he's out. Roush has come in and done a great job at the back end of the bullpen. So usually Crane will get you if it's a save situation, just trying to get here to keep the Orioles scoreless in the bottom of the 8th.
3-2 O's lead. Breaking ball to strike 2 Tejada. Good night for Tejada. 2 singles, 2 runs scored in the game. RBIs, Jones in the 1st inning, and the big home run by Luke Scott, the difference in the game, his 15th of the year, a 2 RBI homer that came in the 6th inning. And he went around on that. Gary Darling, the home plate umpire, calls it, and an 0-2 count.
Yeah, big overhand curveball right there. So did he go? Oh, yes, he did.
The right-handers against Crane, 221. Left-handers, 268. He surrendered 3 home runs. All have been hit by left-handers.
So if you hit a triple, because I don't see a double on my scorecard, does the 16 games, consecutive games, does the triple count as a double, or do they have to be?
No, it has to be a double. Got him on the call strike.
Yeah, there's the slider, a couple of curveballs, and then the slide ball.
And it's time to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. The candidates tonight: Luke Scott with a big home run and a single, 2 RBIs for him. Joe Mauer has contributed in this with his blast, a 2 RBI homer. And Jeremy Guthrie has certainly contributed. 2 runs, 6 hits over 7. A, B, or C to 51862. And a strike on the outside corner to Ty Wigginton. Wigginton hitting at 250. He has the triple that came in the 3rd inning. 1 for 3 in the ball game. We're in the 8th. Had a double clutch on that one. Hardy, 2 down.
Well, he's come in and thrown 5 pitches. They've all been either curveballs or sliders. So much for the heater today.
Take a look at our 4th drive of the game as Luke Scott stands in.
Anthony Slama comes on. Tejada the base hit and the launch ball. This ball was crushed to right center. And that's the difference in this game.
Scott facing Crane for the first time. The local Ford dealer invites you to experience Ford like never before. Ford, drive one.
Need a Ford to go get that ball that's hit so far.
The 8th. 2 down, nobody on here in the 8th. Crane's delivery, and that will be taken for a strike by Luke Scott. There is the closer for the Orioles. Simone getting ready to go. Tomey, Young, and Hardy are due up in the 9th inning. Will Oman, 2/3 of an inning. Just a walk and a hit. Got a hold. Hernandez came on through 1 pitch. Got the out. 1 ball, 2 strikeout on Scott.
Well, you can see how Jesse Crane, who's got a good slider, he's shown a good curveball, and then when the 1 fastball he's thrown, it was 96. Former 2nd round draft choice. 2nd round and power pitcher.
Scott waiting, and the 1-2 will be a fastball up high as he reared back. 94 on that one. Luke continues the tear that he has been on here in the month of July and since coming off the DL, and what a difference that has made. 4th highest batting average over the last 10 days in the American League belongs to Luke Scott. 2-2 delivery, and got jammed. Did he go? And he's called. Bill Hone down at 3rd says he went around on it. So Crane gets a couple of strikeouts, retires the side in order. Now the Orioles 3 outs away from a victory against the Twins. The Twins, 9th inning as the Orioles try and take the 2nd of this 4-game set. And the closer, Simone, is on.
Well, you can see only the 2 blown saves, 13 out of 15. The question, I guess, tonight, hot and humid, but again, 2 2/3 innings on Tuesday night. That 13-inning game pitched very well, got a little bit tired as the game progressed. So we'll see if that has any effect. Twins are yelling, hey, let's give them a finish. Or is it saying, let us get 3 outs before they get a run or 2 or whatever.
Tough, up and down the lineup tough, but a tough one here. Gardenhire's got Thome, Young, and Hardy due up. So you've got home run power, of course, in Thome, same in Young.
And for Thome, you look at the 575 home runs. He does strike out a lot, but he also walks a lot. So if he gets on, they'll pinch run. And again, you got to throw him a strike, and when he does, he can hit it.
So Jim Thome leads it off, and he will foul that one away. Thome at 258, 11 homers and 30 RBIs, 36 walks, and 49 strikeouts coming into the ballgame. He's added number 50 to that in this game. A single, 1 for 3. He's also grounded out.
And he hits a home run about every 16 times up.
Simone with the 0-1 delivery to him, and will miss inside. Jeremy Guthrie, the pitcher of record for the Orioles, looking for his 4th win. 7 solid innings, 2 runs on 6 hits. Juan Samuel's ball club going for their 31st win of the season and trying to even up the season series against Minnesota at 3. Thome.
Yeah, perfect splitter right there. Fading down and away at 88. Fastball's usually in the 90s. Watch this ball just bottom out. That's what the splitter does. One thing about Alfredo, his windup over the last month has been a lot better. He gave up the tie home run to Cabrera in Detroit, and Juan Samuel, Rick Kranitz, pitching coach for the Orioles, said, hey, you got a good fastball. You got to throw a little bit more. Don't get too enamored with a splitter, even though it's a very effective pitch for you.
I think most importantly this year for Simone, he's developed the mentality of a closer. He likes the job. And boy, that's got to exist if you're going to be effective in these final 3 outs of a ball game.
Yeah, I don't think he gets nervous. I just think that sometimes he tries too hard, and that's when the mechanics get a little bit awry. So he's been able to settle down lately.
Here's the 2-2 delivery. Jim Thome hits into the shift. Brian Roberts with a long throw. 1 down. Updating you on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game. On top, Luke Scott. Still time for you to text in your vote, A, B, or C, to 51862. The results on the O's Extra postgame show.
7 innings and 2 runs doesn't, 97-degree temperature doesn't get you a lot of votes.
No.
They're into the long ball.
Earned it. Long ball fans' favorite still, huh?
Chicks dig their long ball. That's what they do.
1 down here and a chopper up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. So Young is on. He gets the single with 1 down in the 9th inning, putting good speed on base with Hardy and then Punto due up.
They had this graph in the paper up there. Take a look right here, just a routine ground ball, but it's in the middle of the plate. This is what he does. But the difference between last year, he strikes out about from 22% down to 9, swing and misses down, line drives up, and that's what young hitters do. They get better if they work at it. And Delman Young's been able to do that.
Now Hardy, and he'll take the pitch for a ball. Hardy is 0 for 3 in the game, 2 for 7 in the series, with a 2 for 4 that he had in the ball game last night.
So you want that same pitch that Gary Darling called earlier on and Brian Robertson Wigington, and Simone didn't get it on the first pitch.
1-0 is a strike. 1-1.
Yeah, Rick Kranitz, who's the Oriole pitching coach, said that's probably the biggest change. Number 1, he got healthy, had Tommy John last May. Made it, at least it looked like he's going to make the Orioles as a starter. Then the elbow injury, but the 2-seam fastball. You get grounders. It has good movement. It stays down.
Throw over to get Delman Young back to the bag. He cannot wander very far, obviously. You cannot be picked off here.
And he doesn't steal a lot. Only 7 attempts, 4 successful.
Hardy with a 1-ball, 1 strikeout and 1 away. Against Simone, the lefties 236, right-handers only 222. 1-1 delivery down to third and foul. Well, he gets ahead on the count here. Ball and 2 strikes on Hardy. Hardy puts most balls in play. He's only drawn 10 walks and struck out 28 times.
Yeah, rips his contusion, so he was on the DL. So 3 years ago, 26 home runs. 2 years ago, 24 for the Brewers. Last year, it dropped to 11, so he became expendable. Big
Hardy,
guy, though. Yeah,
he can drive it if he gets it. 1-2 delivery to him outside. That one had great movement on it.
He really did. That's a splitter, and he made, again, a nice adjustment to lay off it, because that's a double play ball if you can get him to swing at it. Watch him take that just out of the zone.
That brings it to 2-2. We're in the ninth inning. The Orioles lead it by 1, 3-2. Luke Scott's homer, the difference in the ball game. Bowers had the home run on the other side for the only 2. That's outside. A little extra on that one, and it goes full, 3-2.
Yeah, one of their young hitters, Danny Valencia, has come out to possibly hit for Punto. There he is.
Young player hasn't had a lot of at-bats.
Yeah, he will play against left-handed starting pitchers. Probably see him tomorrow. But Brian Mattis pitches for the Orioles.
Hardy, 3-2-1 down. Let's see if Young goes at first.
Well, this is when you hold the ball and then you throw over. See if you can catch him leaning, as he did. And when he gets back, you can see he's got a big lead. I don't think that's because he's running. I just think that, again, the way you teach, especially in good organizations, you want to get a pretty good lead. You could probably cut it down a step and then get that good secondary lead.
Trying to stay out of that double play. Hardy's hit into 6 of them. Runner goes. Popped up. Tatum. Got it.
Big pitch.
2 down.
Not only able to throw a strike, but able to get it over and get him out.
So the Orioles needing one more.
Yeah, just popped it up and right over that kind of slick. And this is about, well, how do we want to pitch this youngster?
So Danny Valencia will come on to pinch hit for Nick Punto in the number 9 spot. Made his major league debut on June 3. Called up from AAA. He was hitting .292 with 24 RBIs in 47 games in Rochester.
Yeah, out of Miami, Florida, so a chance to hit off of Simone. Marginal power. I mean, 14 home runs last year, but that was in AA and AAA. So again, probably just a gap hitter. And if you're an outfielder, you just don't want a ball hit over your head here. Because Young runs well. He doesn't steal a lot of bases, but once he gets going,
Danny Valencia will take it for a strike.
There's Rick Banitz. Get him out with sliders, splitters.
Simone after his 14th save to get it for Guthrie. Anthony Slamup is the pitcher of record for the Twins. 0-1 count on Valencia. And a great movement on that one, boy. 0-2.
I haven't seen that pitch before. It's almost like he dropped down.
Is that a slider?
Well, it was a swerve, and now watch this. It's pretty hittable if you recognize it. I don't think they did because it dropped his arm angle a little bit. You might have to throw a wow in there like the food.
There's the 0-2 delivery.
Well, that's 3 in a row.
Leaned up, looked at it, and 1 ball, 2 strike count.
Well, you're hitting off the fastball. That's what you do with 2 strikes.
1 ball, 2 strike count, 2 down. Young on at first base. And the 1-2 delivery. Slow roller down to third. Tejada barehands it. And this one's in the butt for the O's. Good defensive play to end this ball game. In a really well-played game, the Orioles come away with a 3-2 win. The return of Brian Roberts to this one. Luke Scott with the big blow. Guthrie gets the win. He is now 4-10. Slamma will take the loss, and Simone picks up the save.